So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. My name is Nushaira binti Muhammad Shafri and my number is 297679. So, here I'm going to present about the determinants of Teva pharmaceutical performance. For the introduction, I'm going to talk about the Teva pharmaceutical background. So, first of all, Teva pharmaceutical was founded in 1901 by three pharmacists, which is Sam Salomon, Moshe Levin, and Chuck Elston. They established the company in Jerusalem under the name Salomon, Levin and Elston Ltd. Teva Pharmaceutical, one of the largest genetic drug manufacturer in the world. So now the current CEO of Teva Pharmaceuticals was Richard Francis. So there are some problem statements have been listed, which is high competition in the generic drug market, increased operational expenses, declining pipeline of specialty drugs, regulatory and legal challenge, high level of debts, market access pressures, and needs for operational efficiency improvement. So I'm going to talk about the research objectives, which is the first one to ascertain the internal or firm specific factors that could have influence on Teva pharmaceutical performance. Second, to identify the external or microeconomic factor that could have influence on Teva pharmaceutical performance. And the third one is to investigate the internal and external factor that could have influence on Teva pharmaceutical performance. So in this slide, I'm going to talk about the literature review, which is corporate governance, performance, and liquidity risk. So first, for the corporate governance, which is according to the Stephen Conline 2024, based on their article, What Constitute Good Corporate Governance, he outlined nine key characteristics of effective corporate governance, which is focusing on ethical behavior and regulatory compliance. It emphasizes consequence-oriented decision-making, accountability, strategic vision alignment, transparency in operations, responsiveness to stakeholder feedback, fairness, ethical conduct, risk management, and compliance with regulations. So next for the performance, according to the Muhammad Zavri, Ahmad and Cow 2016, um, they all explore the effective of the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance (MCCG) on the performance of listed company. It finds a positive relationship between strong corporate governance practice and firm performance, indicating that adherence to update governance codes correlates with better organizational outcome. Next for the liquidity risk, which is according to the Abiola Kerifai, Ogwebi Uwawula, Olaiji Danhusi, Fates Ojoni Okemi, Collins G, and Team 2021. They all analyze how corporate governance influence the disclose of liquidity risk within company. It discusses various governance factors that can enhance transparency and accountability in liquidity risk responding, thereby improving overall risk management strategies. So here in this slide, there are three example literature review, which is credit risk, market risk, and operational risk. So for the credit risk, according to the Bin Dow and Hoapam 2015, they all do explore the relationship between corporate governance, structure in banks, and their default probability due to credit risk. It highlights the importance of effective governance in managing default risk, especially following the financial crisis 2008. The study uses Vietnamese commercial banks as a case study to illustrate how governance practice can affect risk-taking behavior and default probability. Next, for the market risk, according to the Basim Selhi 2019, they examines the relationship between market risk disclosure and the strength of corporate governance structure in Gulf Cooperation Council's country. It highlights how robust governance framework can lead to improved transparency in risk disclosure, thereby enhancing accountability and reducing market risk associated with poor governance practice. So the last one is operational risk. According to the BCBS Basel Committee on Banking Supervision 2021, The document outlines principles for managing operational risk within financial institutions, stressing the importance of a robust risk culture and effective communication among different levels of governance. It details how boards should establish and periodically review a comprehensive framework for managing operational risk, ensuring alignment with overall business strategies. So next is for the methodology part. So in this slide, I'm going to talk about the sampling technique. This study collect financial data from annual report of Teva Pharmaceuticals from 2013 until 2023. So based on their table, extracted data will be calculated to financial ratio like ROE, ACP, current ratio, and others. The ratio will be analyzed through linear regressions by using SPSS to regrade description statistic, model summary, and coefficient table. So next is about the finding and analysis. In this slide, they show the table of descriptive statistic. Mean of CG index is 0.888 and 0.5288 for standard deviations, indicating in the 11th year period, Teva Pharmaceutical generate a profit of 34% until 47% for each USD shareholder equity. So next for the correlation table, there's only one strong correlation having showing there, which is significantly negative and have a strong correlation which is unemployment, which is R negative 0.875 and P 0.000. So next is for the model summary. This table summarizes the overall fit of the regression model. For the model 1, which is the internal factor, the R square is 0.887. It tells us how well the predictor, which is operating margin, debt to income, ROA, average collection period, operation ratio, and current ratio, are accounted for X 7.7% of the variation in the corporate governance index. Next, model 2, which is external factor, show that R square of 0.964 implies that 5 parameter variable, which is GDP growth rate, unemployment, interest rate, exchange rate, and inflation rate are accounted by 96.4% in the table pharmaceutical performance. In the model 3, show that R square is 99.9 implies that predictor variables, which is operation ratio, average collection period, interest rate, GDP growth rates, RA, debt to income, unemployment, exchange rate, and inflation rate, are accounted by 99.9% in the table pharmaceuticals performance. So next, according to the internet table, the analysis indicate mixed relationship between financial metric and the corporate governance index. ROE have a negative coefficient which is negative 3.237 with a non-significant p-value 0.694, suggesting higher profitability may reduce governance focus. The current ratio shows a similar negative trend with negative 0.078 with p-value 0.333, indicating less investor pressure with higher liquidity. In contrast, the average collection period has a positive coefficient 0.005 and significant p-value 0.048, suggesting longer collection time may reflect a weaker financial controls. The debt to income ratio is positive 6.289 but not significant, which p-value 0.492, indicating increases financial risk without clear governance impact. The operation ratio is negatively significant with negative 0.688 with p-value 0.020, implying higher expenses may detract from governance focus, while the operating margin is positively significant with 5.854 with p-value 0.019, suggesting better profitability allow for a greater investment in governance practice. And next, for the next table, which is external, the analysis show that inflations with negative 0.009, exchange rate with negative 0.114, and unemployment negative 0.0 0.55 negatively impact the corporate governance index, suggesting that higher inflation and unemployment create uncertainty while an appreciating exchange rate may increase foreign competitions. In contrast, interest rates p-value 0.589 and GDP growth rates with p-value 0.5 to 1 are not statistically significant, indicating more meaningful relationship with governance. So, according to the external and internal coefficient table, the study identifies several significant factors impacting TEVA corporate governance index. Higher inflation with negative 0.15 to 1 and significant 0.026, and employment rates with negative 0.069 with significant 0.034 are associated with lower governance scores, indicating financial uncertainty. The exchange rate also negatively affects governor with negative 1.32 significant and 0.082, suggesting operational challenges with a stronger currency. Additionally, longer average collection period with negative 2.1916 with significant 0.004 reflects inefficiency harming governance, while debts to income shows a negative trend with negative 4.4445 with significant 0.136. It is not statistically significant. The operating ratio has a positive coefficient with 1.449 with significant 0.115, indicating that higher operating expenses may negatively impact governance, while interest charges, which is GDP growth and ROA, shows no significant relationship with the corporate governance index. So in this slide, I'm going to talk about the conclusion and also recommendations. So for the conclusions, the research highlight the critical internal and external factor affecting TEVAR pharmaceutical performance. The finding indicate the operational risk is the most significant determinant of the company profitability, overshadowing other factors such as liquidity, credit, and market risk. Despite the controversy surrounding the company, particularly the opioid allegation and its impact on reputation, technical analysis underscore that effective management of operational risk is essential for improving performance. Moreover, the study emphasized the need for TEVA to enhance its corporate governance practice to navigate the complex pharmaceutical landscape effectively. By focusing on transparency, accountability, and also stakeholder engagement, Teva can boost its competitive positions in the market. The ongoing pressure from the genetic competition and regulatory compliance necessitate a proactive approach to risk management and strategic planning. Ultimately, while Teva Pharmaceutical has shown potential for recovery through innovations and operational efficiency, addressing the outlined challenges will be crucial for strengthening a long-term profitability and market presence. Future research could further explore the implications of macroeconomic factors of Teva performance to provide more holistic the need of its operational landscape. So for the recommendations, Teva Pharmaceutical can strengthen the operational performance, managing financial risks, adapting to microeconomic conditions, strong corporate governance framework, and continuous performance monitoring.